All the promises where them make go, one day not fulfill. Then say them go build the bridge, the part they fly boku. All the promises where them make go, one day not fulfill. Then say corruption go down, you not then corrupt. All the promises where them make go, one day not fulfill. Then be say youth them go smile, look where youth them they cry. All the promises where them make go, one day not fulfill. Now then they shoot, then they loot, then they take, then all they put. Regionalists, them sit on them youth. Like a spice, I tell them the truth. How long pan this? How long pan that? How long for the thief with money and go? You know me say because of a born pampo, that's misery for die pampo. The economy is slow.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of a program called Progress Right. We are on YouTube and on Facebook because we can discuss issues the way they come out of the front page of the different newspaper then for the morning, and after which we can bring people and where they can actually help you to analyze the different issues then inside the program this morning. And we're not wasting any more time. We'll go straight and begin for look at the different paper then where we don't get inside the program this morning. And the first paper we'll go look at inside the program this morning now the Gleaner newspaper. The Gleaner newspaper say APC wants travel bans imposed on President Bio orders as the US Council, and plenty others to read them there for inside this particular paper. The next paper where we get now the Africa 24, we say no trust in the ECSL, no trust in the judiciary. So APC, what next? Ringing the bells of democracy in Africa. Will Sierra Leone rerun its election like Malawi? We go to the next paper where the Independent Observer, Kenema elects the youngest MP, and the political drama around ECSL gets more protracted. After Eid Hada prayer, direct aid, Kenema dishes out 70 cows to the needy. Salon Times say APC says they will not recognize Bio as president, and Maristope launches rain season cover close. Night Watch say coup against democracy, says opposition. We stand by APC demands Sierra Leoneans. Night Watch Press reporter orders survive brutal firing. Beyond Borders, Speaker of the 6th Parliament, who succeeds among SLPP strong men. And you as well get other story within inside this particular paper. The Euros newspaper, APC still hopeful despite winner takes all. And ONS may intervene in Sierra Leone Commercial Bank building security. NACIT applaud President Bio leadership. The Capital newspaper and the next paper will say an open letter to President Bio. And G7 plus election observation mission releases preliminary findings on June 24th election. Voters' commitment to a democratic challenge, violence and lack of transparency, says EU Chief Observer. The Source newspaper, now the next paper for this morning, we say APC has no faith in the judiciary. 652 lambs slaughtered for pilgrims. And Gallo, congratulations for President Bio. Daybreak, on the next paper, we say alleged betrayers undermine APC's victory. CSOs give 24 hours ultimatum to ECSL. Strange coincidence. IGR survey figures identical with ECSL. Salon Compass, on the next paper for this morning, say Bio scrambles for legitimacy. APC maintains we will not go to SLPP court. The Calabash, now the next paper for this morning, we say Bar Association unveils report on its observation on 24th June 2023 elections. And we go to the next paper for this morning. The next paper for this morning, we go to the next issue. We say at UK Achievement Award ceremony, a world global chairman congratulates President Bills and order. APC rules out recalls to court. Action on disputed June 24th election. Voice of Salon. APC former ministers Former minister questions NSC directive that the National Advisory Committee, and APC refuses to challenge election results in court. President Bill makes his first trip to ECOWAS region. In the Jeans newspaper, the next paper for this morning, we say LEONE Rock Metal Group distribute bags of rice to employees. Samoa Kamara reaffirms rejection of general elections results announced by ECSF. Is a newspaper. Political parties should refrain from violence hate speech. Alpha Khan admonishes Samoa Kamara to accept defeat. Freetown mayor drags Arata to court for alleged malicious damage. I will defeat APC if another election is conducted, President Bill tells women's group. The Vindicator, APC declares boycott of all governance activities. This is another story for inside this edition of this paper. And the Times newspaper say fire on the mountain. Sierra Leone Commercial Bank to sweep APC sympathizers. And you as well get today marks 3 years since they departed. Since you departed from us, we will continue to celebrate your legacies. CSOs call for publication of disaggregated election results data. The Sky Times, the next paper, we say as NGC goes into oblivion, KKY falls into political grave dog. And fed the nation, poultry trains farmers to increase production. Farmers Federation congratulates President Bill on his re-elections, and Sylvia Blyden extols ex-President Kuruma administration. Desmonda Diaz, female dominated field and excelled. The Times newspaper, News Times Daily say following successful election campaign, Fatima Bio named champion of women's rights. New and Carter Center medal in Sierra Leone's election. This and plenty other story them day for inside this edition of the New Times Day. Well, now the paper and this way we get inside the program this morning, and we not waste any more time. We go straight and bring in, we guess them we do already ready. We come with the first one with Salio Tijan Jallo in the Idman for the Times Sierra Leone newspaper, and later we will bring Mafakagbo inside. We inside will join me inside this particular discussion. So we go straight and start with Salio. Salio, good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning, Mr. Pierre. I do IFBT. Thanks for having me this morning. Good morning to you listeners and viewers that will follow this program when I progress on we are.
All right. Thank you and welcome for a long time. I'm glad to forget you again today. So let me go into this.
I just want to become
very quick. Okay, no problem.
Yes, I get you.
Yes. Now go quickly as you really want for lawmaker quick. Now go straight to the this different discussion then. So as a journalist, we don't observe how the electoral process go to the time when they call the results. So in your own observation, what do you make up of the election and the result will come out at the end of the day? You get me?
Hello?
Yes, you get me?
Yeah, you would not come
yes.
Again?
I say, as a journalist, we don't look at, this, we look at the election, proper one. Different people have don't come up with different things than we then find out from the election. Carter Center, US Embassy, EU, and other one they even knew. So, as a journalist, let me just get you on. What do you think about the election and the results will come out at the end of the day?
Well, elections over the years, it don't surround controversies. As far as we don't monitor and observe elections, then you go agree with me. Say always when they get elections, the outcome can be full of controversy. There could be discrepancies, either in figures. There could be issues the way people can raise, where it can be concerned to the public as well. But this 2023 election, it creates some kind of public attention where the name of the country not even good in the eyes of the international community. But on the other hand, the Electoral Commission, Sierra Leone, they always tell you, see, then go by the Act, the 2022 Public Election Act. We give them the power and mandate them to go about the election. Usually, we do amendments to the Public Election Act, and they make some amendments with the Electoral Commissioner and give some power to take certain decisions. But on the other hand, now if you watch this election, as far as it's concerned, there have been issues, and some of these issues then we come up, we get to do with violence, exchange of ballot boxes, or attempt to exchange ballot boxes, ballot stuffing, and all the rest of it. These are issues then we na electoral offense system as far as election concerned under the Public Election Act 2022. But on the other hand, you see Sierra Leone over the years, it's very difficult for a party within opposition where you don't lose an election for let you concerns to be had. This it go for both parties. Even when the APC was in power, there were issues with the SFPP self raised when they go into election in 2012, and they raised issues. Some of these issues in the type of champion, then a court and all the rest of it. But nobody gets the required team where they expect to get from the judiciary. Because now, as they follow how election they go, the reason why they bring this, we get to be honest with how they present the argument. But this election, it don't surround controversies past all the elections so far we don't observe. More so far we can be seen. Majority of the international community in this country, they cry down the process, say the election not be free and fair and not be transparent. So all we expect the National Electoral Commission, Sierra Leone, now for ensure say they do things within the mandate of the act where everybody will feel satisfied. But on the other hand, they take a decision and then they pronounce the result. And as citizens of this country and somebody who don't observe election, may not get the audacity for question the outcome of the elections, because one, the Public Election Act of 2022 talks the Electoral Commission Sierra Leone are the only body charged with the responsibility for declare the winner of an election. You get me? So if they don't declare President Bio as winner of the election, and the opposition self gets concerns about electoral malpractices that will take place, I think they get the right to take up the issues there and petition the outcome of the results. But on the other hand, the opposition self they feel say taking the concerns to the judiciary, and that this judiciary is being controlled by the powers that be say State House, so they're not going to get the justice what they look for. But on the other hand, this are the children to go on in this country. Even if the APC have been in a power and APC don't win an election and then SFP in opposition, they question the outcome of the election. SFP go still similar to because now APC then in a power, they don't trust the judiciary. But all this it begs the question of the too much of executive powers given to the president by the 1991 Constitution. When you go through Section 70, Section 70, they tell you, see, that the president, they appoint Chief Justice. Then they appoint the electoral commissioner of ECSL. Now the president, they appoint the Inspector General of Police. Now the president, they appoint the Chief of Defense Staff and prominent positions. And so we appear in a situation where the president and they appoint people in position of trust. And do you expect those people in those offices for discharge their duty independently where you no go try for the president, it's very difficult. So now make a constitution, they really need for review and some of the powers of the president and get for pull out. Certain position of trust, like the one they did, the chief justice, like the electoral commissioner.
So because what people in the time for say right now, you don't find out the chief justice and in charge of all cases then at the court. This chief justice is swearing the president, not a conflict of interest that day.
The chief justice and waiting.
Now he's swearing in the president, and then they in charge of the court as well for make sure say he assign or sit down by any other case them. You not think say interest go there in that particular issue there?
Well, for the chief justice for swearing the president, not for conflict of interest because
no, what I basically mean right? Now the president now look at this. The president now appoint him. Then I swear in the president. Now in duty, now in right, now in within a mandate for swearing in the president. Yeah, we agree to that. But at the same time, the president I appoint, and then it get for look at cases. Then, for example, we get for look at whether the president for continue for the office or for commoner office.
Well, between me and you, Sierra Leone judiciary, to be honest, there have been series of issues questioning the independence of the judiciary. Even when the APC was in power, there were issues about the judiciary, the independence of the judiciary. There were cases so they came on at the court when the SFPP were at the time whilst they were in opposition. They said questions the independence of the judiciary based on certain rulings with the court give out.
Yes.
You understand? So the problem with the get at the institution they are is because now the presidents they appoint people there, and when the presidents appoint people. Even if not APC being in power, you don't expect the chief justice for taking a decision against the wish and interest of the president to appoint her. These are the problem we get. But in other countries, irrespective of the fact that now the president they appoint some of them people there, take for instance America. Yes, you get countries then where the president are in power for appoint, they get the mandate for their appoint the people there into office. But they see say. Even whether the bias in the dispensation of justice at times, more than they try for dispense justice for the interest of everybody we will see and CS, at least judiciary do it. Now that way we want the judiciary to operate. But it's very difficult to operate under that kind of condition because at the end of the day, you go questions you stay at the office where you be. Take for instance, the same thing applies to that of the police boss. The police, they always get problem because they want for police the government of the day. There are cases the way the police they take up against, like even with journalists, when we write about government or the president, there are times the president or the EP and we are, so they know about that. But police, they can't go effect arrest because the IG want to in favor from the presidency, he is working. There are people in the way that they arrest, the president or they know. Even during the days of President Kuruma, things that they will happen. Where arrests were made with President Kuma never know about. Same thing applies to President Bio. There are certain arrests where we hold people in. President Bio don't know. And the police can do some of them here just for intimidate people and curry favor from the powers that be. So the problem
So if that's not the case, but if at some point the president will get for no. If they put strict warning to the police, you not think say then we're able for stop. But because at the end of the day, the president they behave as if I didn't talk about Bio as well. I talk about Kuma himself. You know, any one of the two where don't they at that particular office day. If them don't they put stop, you not think say the police go stop?
Well, the problem will get with leaders. Again, to be honest with you, they're not sincere to we within the room. They're not sincere to the masses within the government. These are the same with all honesty. Are the same with my mind. We leaders they get no sincere to we because at the end of the day, anyone where he want please himself and do what he wants.
All right.
And it gets the outcome. It gets what he wants. So Sierra Leone for them move above that stage.
Okay, you mic don't mute, Sally.
Independently, then they always take decision, take sides. To the president to appoint them. So what is
so
there is still for a review.
Now only at this point and bring inside Martha quickly. Martha, unmute your mic and let you come inside quickly. Good morning.
Good morning, Sandra Pierre. Good morning to your brother Sadio and to everybody they watch you this morning.
Okay, and thank you for joining me this morning. So you self watch the election. You observe. You observe the election on different capacity. So tell me, what do you observe from the time where they say, "Pep, this is the election day," to the time where they announce the results?
I stand with the points. From always I observe, I stand with the points of the EU and the Qatar Center and also the National Elections Watch New. I stand with the points about that, and we don't get a lot of crisis in this election. I don't cover election for close to about for 13, 14 years now. Because I remember I began cover election effectively around 2009. Yes. So we don't get problems when it comes to elections management, but they always don't be minimal. They're minimal to a point that both local and international observers, they know they see it as a crisis. Then will say, well, if free and fair, those are just issues, and issues can always get for pop-up in elections. Now, on elections day or before elections, I'll cover the registration. It's been so quite difficult for people to register. I would say, like for voting centers, they all operate, all the centers they across the country. 5,000 or more, they all operate simultaneously. But this time, the ECSL or Mama Economy decided for 4 times to have, say 2,000 will operate 2 weeks, another 2,000 operate 2 weeks. And then they limit the opportunity to let people go register, like you take away their rights as citizens. And if you don't consider the census where they do, was it 2001 or 2021, you don't consider that midterm census, you don't can attach them to the election. The midterm census say there has been population growth. So automatically, we don't even go beyond wait till we register with the 5,000 and more centers. We don't even increase them to like 6,000-7,000 more centers operating simultaneously. You know, don't even cut them down. When they say verification, the process was just shabby and disgraceful, disrespectful to people, just go hang people and torture people in detail and ground. You can imagine, you take a fellow citizen in detail, torture and ground, until they go actually verify and all of that. People went and verified. We pop up with the process. When they say ID card distribution, still there were another crisis. You know, a lot of people not get an ID card. You consider, say, some money ID card na different. Me, I see me voter ID card. I say, not to me. I say, but how do you picture that? So, fortunately for me, I got Miss Moses, and I Miss Moses that take care of me. And they say, but give me balawat. Well, what's nice? He said, now you this, he said, now that 2018 picture, and they use so. And I was so dark, I'm not able to even identify myself. I think because of my name day and all things that my sister able to see me visit. I think I can't home with them. So you get a lot of controversy in that. We come back, even when Connell claim, because he was just making a claim where he wrong, and I would tell him, if he don't before me said he wrong, intentionally, he rogue, and he's a good rogue when he look at the election. Even when they claim, say, he followed the acts, there's the power, acts give power for do certain things, but are things the way they in line with democratic standard, free and fair elections. Even when they claim, say, they go by the acts, there were challenges. I remember the first meeting where we attended a civil society ACSL meeting where maybe go represent my organization. I remember Rashid Dumbuya, when a lawyer, he raised them with and say, concerns don't day about tallying. And according to the act, we know for skip any process. Let it be done from central polling stations to center level, and then come to district level, and before we come to regional level, saying that specified in the act. Then argue, say, well, they're not getting no intention for skip them, then we'll go by the act. He always say they go by the act, but things have never been done by the act. So I remember that meeting, Rashid Green come up and he been stressed on that. He opened the act, he read them. You know, some of them in frown because they get in position, they don't take and all of that. But that gentleman was very, very much clear on that day. We move forward to that one day. On elections day, because we know say before the election, but could go on there on things the way the opposition, you know, they call for, and they were right. Asking for voter register. Why? They're not they ask you say give we like the person in address and all thing. Voter registered and they will adjust the person in name and in ID and in face the way it can be able to identify. So if for no long give the people them. According to the act, you know, give people in a days to election and you provide them. all of these Wincan crises and and to be honest with you, we are some of the people that we've been the advocates say, let me get a better change, let me get a better electoral, let me get a better system when it comes to governance, service delivery, standard of living, and all of that for citizens. And long before now, we've been pushed for anything and in the work the way we do as journalists and as activists. Now, after we don't get a new direction, when people then get a lot of hope, we say the way how we go, it lower the value and the standard of who say we been there. It become lower. We value and standard output in terms of governance, in terms of standard of living and all of that is very, very much lower than who say we been there before under the new direction. So now, elections day, I go out, because I get a platform. We have done the support, Igbako, EGBAKOH on Facebook, where they work with Sogoda with other colleagues then. They do news items. So if you go Facebook, you type and you will see how many follow it. Do news items. And so they move around. I go live stream. I go to certain centers, they are live stream. Me center where me vote, where I go there, it was almost 10, they not begin it. They not begin vote it. So I witness center where they not begin vote it. Me center they not begin vote on time. I go to centers the way people they name, they get ID card, they name, they not in a voter register. I don't see that yet since 2009 I've been called elections. I go to centers the way people they name, they not in a voter register. I go to center the way first day of ballot stuffing. I go to center the way intimidation day. If you go now we page on the very election day, they see some of the live streaming the way we do. Where I go na Fobe na BJ school. They not start on time. There was a gentleman there with knife. We go there for go fetch people. They say they not vote for the present regime. It will kill them. Then get for fets. But Eastern, but the NSF not left and get for fets. They end up for pull and at the line. All over the place, crisis. The entire free to all Usaya go. No side. I go to more than 10 centers. Non-center not do them begin vote on time. And almost every center people they name the loss na voter register. One side way one we put a cover na Eastern. More than 200 people. Eastern the one side now more than 200 people they name the loss na the voter register. You get all of this crisis. So this is not the worst election where I believe so we don't get so far after the war. Of course, I've been follow up because I've been still a study. I've been follow up in 2007 election, but actively involved in election reporting after 2009. This is not the worst election we don't ever get. So I stand with the points of the EU. I stand with the points of Qatar Center and with NEW. They are very, very much correct. In fact, I just believe something.
Okay, so now ask you this. Since you don't stand with the point of EU, Qatar Center, NEW, and other people, US Embassy, UK, and other big and partner them where we work with. But we see, for example, the Salon Bar Association come out and say, the election was, largely free, fair, transparent, and peaceful. You see, the State House, for example, this morning I listened to 98.1, where we get, the director of communication at State House. They basically say the election credible, a peaceful, a free and fair, and a transparent. Everybody, appreciate how the election go. And this time around, you get more, participation in. And more than any other election. This time around, you get more open in voting than any other election. What thing that you take on that?
Ali, with all due respect, I'm not go personal. You not married man, you get hanging on your finger. So you not married man, you get hanging on your finger. Now you can tell we say not a good husband. Me, I know they do well. Be that this or that. It's not ever possible. It don't be very clear and don't come out and public say State House is in a romantic relationship with the Sierra Leone Bar Association. The Bar Association is in a romantic relationship with State House. And there has been divorced and in all of this engaged. So what do we expect from Bar Association? I'm not really expecting anything from them less than this. Okay. And what do you feel to say State House for talk for himself? Now then go there and say they win. You they conduct election in the midst of council. Remember, all the people we involved. I don't say during the tallying, after that Monday, we can give the first say 60%. Where Alala begin say put lock or say they not send results in Northwest region. The other region they begin talk about 45%. The northern region say na 45%. The western area say na this percent. where they all begin to talk about Amos and don't send. The Tuesday morning, the one they were at Saleh Center, don't talk and the party agenda already say. The Saleh Center stopped for work entirely, tell people and say, Long man go home, counting don't do. So everything stops.
So Martha, excuse me, let's just make
so
people
you
understand.
Announce election like that one day they say free and fair.
So Martha, sorry, the picture one that you see right now on the screen, now in relation to it, Martha say, it says State House in relationship with the Bar Association, romantic relationship. So from what you just see now, the First Lady Marabio and the President of the Bar Association together. So for just show you within Martha the time for talk exactly. So Martha, about all of this way they say so, a lot of people I listen to the Women's Forum, Women's Forum, we say now they're not the Mama organization. They congratulate President Bio and say they're happy. And President Bio deserve, a well-deserved second term, now I don't get so. Because the election largely credibly transparent. And then the woman, they vote massively for President Bio.
Okay, I'm not surprised. Women's Forum, not the first civil society. Yesterday, I watched television. I didn't IMC, they do some live stream with the IMC executive secretary. Where I see the diaspora salon go congratulate the president. So it's more about domestic congratulations coming in. And the level at which CSOs don't be compromised. Sally Adams, the president for Women's Forum, in that meeting where Rashid bin they raised that issue about counting, she was so uncomfortable, she was there. And they make side comments about if the man will count, I want for count, he gets inside comment. I was sitting behind, right behind her. Now, go track, unless he deletes for today. If you quickly go track Sally Adams in page, you see, the screenshots, I don't know who I save
on waiting, in page on waiting.
Now, Facebook, there was one time this girl will get this big waist for SLPP, where they dance, the girl wear green. Sally Adams post the girl, say, let the girl in dance. The president of Women's Forum, where go they so. A screenshot, I don't know per my phone, because there is 3 different phones, who I save them. But go there now before they call her.
Sally Adams, okay, Sally I think Adams. I understand.
So if Sally Adams so don't post the green affairs matters, he go commend the president. It's not surprising to me. All of these people they're
okay, so now I know the post where you talk about. Maybe in ordinary speech, but I don't see the person face. Maybe let's out Sally inside quickly on this woman here and the Women's Forum. This now the time where then we get that August 10 issue. This now be the woman where I get a video now where come out and condemn everything and say, in fact, the one that we come out now because of the APC and the Adebayo thing and then they against that and the president for take serious action against them. And this woman found herself inside the August 10 committee and all waiting and talk during the meeting and found himself inside the report of the August 10 committee. So now just see, I just don't see him quickly and I just don't catch up with him na Facebook. This, but I think they get another account where they use where I will get for look again. Continue.
I think it get digital media crisis. It get series of account the way they open. Okay, you understand something can just lost. But you get one account where I know say me in a Facebook frame where they posting green business and they are civil society activists.
Okay.
And let's you comment. I will also want for comment later on civil society activists, their own contribution. And we go one for lady.
If that be the case, I want for take Sally quickly inside another thing. Sally, quickly come inside. I want follow we talk about this. Before this election, we find out say waiting Andrew Lavalley. Let's go inside the paper where they say daybreak. This now basically waiting Andrew Lavalley be say. This paper say strange coincidence. IGL survey figures identical with ECSL. The exact figure where Andrew Lavalley and the IGL predict. Now him the ECSL come with. And a lot of people, including myself, we don't get issue with them, say this particular result, some people say, now a make-up result from State House. And why? Waiting Andrew Lavalley give, now it come exactly from the ECSL. No mistake, no day. Sally, what do you take on that?
Pierre, I know we discern whether Andrew Lavalley is on ECSL. One, you have to be very careful with the information out to the public on sensitive issues like this. Now, the only thing we can able to prove said wrong. When National Election Watch, alongside other observers, then bring out analysis with that of the ECSL data and the result. The question matter talk, the elections, they get so many issues, starting from registrations, even to the voting process, which is some of who observe in the CC, not good for electioneering in this country, you see. But on the other hand, most of the issues then will come up. You understand? We get for do like be highlight like ballot stuffing, overvoting, political intimidation and violence. Of course, me visit one or two areas where I discovered that like Amaraya school elections, voting not start day after 2. And could you imagine what that means when people don't come out from 7 o'clock for go vote and voting not start day after 2 o'clock? We go there and some people and they will be they even left. They say they're not going to all age people there, the aged. So then they go there for vote. We're not be there. Yeah, they say they're going to also not going to vote. And there were issues of politicians, ministers in government, they be going to police stations, intimidate people them, and people are not be happy with about the presence one. Because if you not follow, even with the electoral commissions, then press conference, I raised that issue there. But the electoral commission are not even answering the question because it's trying for divert. Because I witnessed a situation we are in Alledged where a particular strong somebody at the other side, we get a pistol, we move around, we get pepper spray and all the rest of things. They move around, and some of the masses, the people who be there around, try for resist them. Say the OSD open fire for them, with a minister self be involved. So, but they later go down at the Osco police station, make a report against the officer. Then we make them remind the officer. I will be good and tell the LEC, say no, the officer not do anything wrong. They try to protect the police stations and protect the box them where they did for them next interchange them and all the rest of it.
Sally, for the sake of clarity, you say, posting workout pepper spray from the other side. What will they talk about? Who's minister this? A journalist we can give information. In as much as it don't happen, it don't pass, but people will still want to know how it happened. Who that?
If you not only follow, I don't turn down interviews on so many forums. AYP, I know they keep for going interview because my life is security, my family. I cherish them. I don't go through a lot at this country.
So in other words, if you dare say, it means say you life with your at risk.
Listen to what I say. Mm-hmm. There are things in the way we don't uncover. We don't bring a lot of problems there. Now we don't like. Mm-hmm. So there are certain things then now. For that, I'm going to TV. I'm not going to call this anymore because I know they able to do that now. Mm-hmm. Even AYP don't call me on so many things. I know they go because this country where you talk through, brother, as you talk through where you are going to be targeted. As you talk through where they are, no problem. As you say things, as you see them, no problem. So the best man can do now, keep na corner and then try to avoid certain things there. I know they fear for naming anybody where you fall for violence or me deep and that. I've said it, I even raised the issue na the press conference with the electoral commission. But the country matter be the try for talk. Can't try for exhibit biasness even for that press conference day. One of the biasness where he exhibits will not be fine. If you as the presiding national returning officer, there have been election concern, election violence and other things that were happening. Okay. The first press conference you only address the media. You don't make mention of anything happening at the south and the east. Mm-hmm. You only focus on the north. Mm-hmm. And with that, specifically try for show say you mean one side. You see, when we go on that press conference, there are so many issues that will happen. We get video evidence of issues that will happen at the south and the east. But you never bring that, they come out. You never raise that, they never talk on that. And even some of the concerns then we people can raise. If we not talk, if we not follow that press conference day, I even raise this of distrust with the opposition, we don't come up with. But all this, they decide not to follow them and take any decision we want to. Why they say I raised the issue of the 1991 constitution, giving the power to the president to appoint people. Now it boils down around all that. Because when you get a constitution, where especially Sierra Leone, irrespective of the fact that other countries, that's really happening. But Sierra Leone now, we don't take up for be a culture, so we now, when the president appoints, what the president wants, they do.
All right. So this now just the kind of thing where we don't see it happen because you get for protect the job where they don't give. But Sal, you now ask me this question again. You know, we're very much concerned about your safety, we're concerned about your life and all things. I'm not ask you about what I'm ask you, but I'm going to ask you this question. With this kind of way, how you the fear? Me, I know you personally, say, before this time, you will not be the first person who begin blow on this government. And we know how the police been kidnap you at one point, you know, for story where you come up with. I know they go into that. But now we don't see the kind of fairness we don't dey inside you. We make it don't be so much that even when you see something now, you're scared for say that particular thing as journalists. But we see outside the Salon Association come and say the press totally free for perform or for going with the the work freely. What thing now you take on this with this kind of thing within
the press not free. The press not free. Because even very recently there was an issue we get for do with corruption, we are exposed. We get for do with somebody we're very close to the presidency. Because of our exposed that thing when I get documentary evidence. The first call I received from the head of CID said they for arrest me because of I published something like that. Can you imagine that kind of situation that day?
So all of them things are so knocking there to the attention of Sludge?
No, Sludge, no.
So why is Sludge, in your word, why is Sludge they come out and say the press free when your life there at least?
Most of the things them, and we pay a lot tell you, when we compare notes, if there are issues, will come to me and we document. I call the president of Sludge. There are so many occasions where issues that they come, and they bring up to the president of Sludge. I say, President, this so imagine that this don't come before me back. These are documents and evidence and all it. Sludge know most of the things them. I know they hide them. You see, it's very unfortunate. Some of the intimidation they always not happen. When the intimidation cannot happen, later one or two people left, then they use them for can't talk to you and for beg you. Just because we say when they say that this last one what they tell you way happen, which is senior somebody within the government, where you get a big time corruption at Ministry of Health. Big time we document the evidence of. When we try for expose out. The person use the head of CID, they intimidate me. They intimidate me, say they go arrest me, we don't get right for publish that thing. I say, when that you right back again, I investigate something, and this guy do with corruption, well, even the SEC will investigate this issue.
Sally, some things are waiting for the do way that they happen. Once somebody want intimidate, just go, Mr. said they played for me life, not to all are they engaging right now. Not to all side they go, not to all program they take part. Mr. said it's great for me, like to be honest with you, SMBPA. But like you will get that opportunity or way unfortunate for say when you don't get your document, you publish, person intimidate, just go Facebook and post. Not just go to social media. In fact, now go to record certain people and the way call the police, call it, say stop for do this, just record them. This year out, say I publish this thing, put out the document, the evidence, something, we investigate and publish this in police, they call we intimidate. Let we all go public. Let them be the judge.
All right. So I think the risk now is very serious. It's really serious, especially where you get for do with the life now of in family. Because I don't see several times where threats on the come from. But let me ask you this again, Master. We see the prediction of Anula Valley and waiting come from the ECSL. Now match, nothing no different. What do you make up of this? Martha, unmute. You might mute.
Long before now, when he released this, before even the result, I know say something was cooking. Now, few weeks to election, and Ulavali released a survey where say 30 people, citizens and believe say now around 30 to 35% or so. Now President Kuruma President Bio deliver on a manifesto. Then you twist and turn, a week later, you say this person, they go win by 56%. What really change? For whether you talk to, we say you're at 35% or 30% delivery, and now you don't talk to, we don't give 56%. So now, in fact, what do we for the do now for begin pointing fingers at the CSOs? In fact, America, they say it will go good for the State Department open up when they're ready for release and sanction. Let me name people the way they undermine the democracy of this country. This now organization where they call for, I wish I would have to watch this and I meet and face to face, I go tell them more. This now an organization where they talk about governance reform. We see the mess way happen, ballot stuffing, people are limiting for go vote, all our governance. They don't say a word up till this moment. Waiting, the whole process we can do say for me, if I not to election, I go back stamping. I ain't gonna engage with people, say we go vote. So now, una gap with a survey, una say, na 56%, na the president they win. And the election full with malpractices where local and international observers then talk about. So that it automatically tell you, say, all of these guys now they plan this thing. They are involved. We don't begin point. We don't cover this country events then extensively for like the past 12, 15 years. We know how volume the day at certain level now. We will tell you, say where APC day, now them people had them volume the rise, where SPP day, them people had them volume the low. And Andula Valley and IG had them volume so far so good about governance performance, they don't low under this administration. As I go tell them before in face, and I wish you go watch them that and not let them forward. I mean, no me. So I not even damn care. So now one of the people that them volume they don't low. So what you see say consistently. I dey permitting. You dey saw in a minister in the ambog. You dey say consistently, even they force this survey for let people embrace them, but say yes, the president will win. The president will win. It dey force some people in surveying don't undertake and the president will win. So at the end of the day, the thing can come out. The win where they win, not all we vote them counts. Now corner and young results that one day. Now corner and young results. You dey not say these civil society people, then don't now one of the people that we don't ambog this country. So I prefer for even deal with the typical SLPP APC person than even deal with civil society because the typical SLPP APC person, it don't show saying a politician, it want for benefit from national resource, it not get nothing for do in a politician purely. Then you say you not CS so that you promote political agenda. I WhatsApp you this now, Sally Adams. I WhatsApp you a backward line, Sally Adams in comments. And some of the posts that them the post for President Biyo. I mean, they screenshot some of the things the way some people let me they do. Then comments them, then posting and doing Facebook. I go try for dig more, forget some things the way I go able for send. And no, I also save some really. But you go see where they comments, where they praise, they sing and all of that. I don't know if you don't see them.
No, you don't come yet. Now WhatsApp you say now?
Now WhatsApp I send now with a back call the line.
Okay, let's look for them. Okay.
I send now where they comment. So these are some of the issues you don't get CSOs that we don't contribute seriously. And I remember me other party, Safa Abdullahi, in have been very strong person, Society for Democratic Initiative, where they talk about advocacy. I work with them closely and do a lot of media work with when it comes to the right to access to information bill and to the act. We do a lot of work and promotion. We see same volume end of change. Where connect can where then change over connect say there is no need for ECSL. They take private lawyer, make them go take the government lawyers them. You know, the government lawyers then they for the ECSL. Look, at the end of the day, the lawyer for ECSL became Safa Abdullahi. So and even this way people they talk about PPP, me not know about PPP, and me not too care about them and are not like interested in what they do. To be honest with you. But let me tell you, when you listen to people and talking about PPP, I always say there has always been a PPP. It's just that it changed over time. When APC be in a power, you see the likes of Francis Ben Kefala, Safa Abdullahi, them, they're all they get this squad where they call themselves Renaissance movements. And because people can get some level of freedom at that time, you see they even with the protest. Say like no day times are hard, transportation, fuel price. They protest openly. They were allowed. They move around with placards. And when government change, this Renaissance movement, they all get government job. They all get government consultancy.
Okay, so let's go quickly.
You see people pop up. So there has always been this kind of set of people advocating for governance, and it only depends on that in a power.
No, watch this thing quickly, Mafa. You send this thing to we. We are the scene now from Facebook. Basically, this now a post where then do you say case closed, and then 5 more years. Then you see the Women's Forum. You know, presidents come and comment say, "In name na Sally Dimawa Adams." Yeah, he say 2. Then he not stop there. He continue say, "God continue full stop." For Dr. HB President Biyo, you know, I don't know if it's a mistake or you don't even know how to put the English together, you know, but the bottom line, it just the try for hail and praise the president. Let's go to the next
side. As a civil society activist,
Yeah, okay. So look, God continue for. I think that the same waiting this way. This na a civil society where say we not say get right for congratulate, but at the time of this particular point, if you don't they say two, as they say game close or case close, you say two. God bless the person
Yes.
or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like you don't take sides already. You don't take sides. But interestingly, I think as you go along, I would tend to come up with something up. Just continue,
and like we say, people are for careful. Democracy na global standard. And I think what still affect the administration, and then this is the usual style for bulldoze. When they go under the pull out the Pias Commander office, they say bulldoze we left so. When you go under a pull parliament, say the Commander Parliament, bulldoze. When you go under a pull this, you sack this. Okay, some of these to a large extent, although na global accountability standard for me, but mostly can get for say domestic issue, na this, na that. But democracy, in as much as you are a sovereign state, you get from it to global standard. When you say free, fair, and credible election, transparency na in the back come out. Now in the foundation for free, fair, and credible election. How much more you open up? So we don't see term reach for vote now. They don't allow nobody for C. Side in the term reach for count. They don't allow nobody for C. Side in the tally. Outside they do all the collation process. So transparency no be. International community is concerned. Local observers there is concerned. So you don't meet the international standard. And if you not meet the international standard, you don't meet them. You continue for busy sovereign state. But mind you, I very much sure say something the State Department they wait for. By the time they matter, some man he go see name na list for say they go America. Because when they don't put in that list, they let government change. And then an appeal way not easy for be won. When they say they undermine democracy, because then they say the thing will make America be now because of democracy. The day you water down democracy in your country, or you contribute to water down democracy in your country, then you want to go America. So by the time when State Department they release the list, when that list they mean very much sure say EU, UK, and the rest they get for the endorse. And that's ending now. Some people then go begin forget that themselves up. And so man in Peking and go go for vex pan for the rest of their life, because some of them ban and they say you and your family. So when you don't come on office, so they don't ban you. When you come out, you where for Peking and don't come for don't pay you. Okay. You also say go ask you self question, what am I living for? You are not America, you need to live for America, but once you get the opportunity to do anything, you go out for explore. Now, so people they grab them, say let them begin and go specialize in America or in the West in general. Then they say let them, then they go do medical overseas. Then they left because they don't put the medical structures in well so now overseas. Then they go for good one. So by the time the America ban or sanction, when they release some in Europe and UK, then they endorse. And mind you, they're not a worry for the now. America don't say it, they say don't forget about you. Then get a law where you see say yesterday say or they first say Macky Sall say they contest again and whatever. You see while the out Senate can comment and Senate even mention Salon name the embarrassment. Yeah, anytime out and talk about rig the action in the focus on Salon. And people, a lot of people they think I say it be Nigeria. Just do a no more when talk to culting those. Salon is not Nigeria. With structure of democracy, with history, the economy, not so the same. Nigeria, they contribute to global economy far more than we do. Then they say about $3 billion. Now in Nigeria, they spend alone for imports whiskey or wine them from France. We get $3 billion for buy beer or $1 billion for buy beer or generally drinks in this country.
All right.
We know
so
better.
What now we do quickly as you create some issues there with regards to always civil society they play. Let me just watch this clip of Sally Adams quickly. On the August 10 before even they set up the committee or if we look at the August 10. Let me listen to waiting Sally says. We'll come back this one.
I'm happy for Tinapia for representing the Women's Forum, Sierra Leone. When are the mama for all the women's who play? We want to call her mama because Women's Forum not there for 28 years. We even all them solutions there, Women's Forum not pass through. For example, not taken from the Civil War, for out peace, for the St. Women's Forum they part of her. We know the process. We took up the Women's Forum last year as one of the young person. Because all along now, when small group of women come out say they want protest against government, they say because that today. Because as we women in this country, we value for this kind of engagement. Why? Because we know State Sierra Leone or any side where trouble happen, like August 10. And before August 10, order is said to happen when small group of women come out say they want protest against government still because of dividend there. But we as women we know say cost of dividend everywhere. So that first will happen when we are condemned and talk say, oh, this is wrong. Because we know still when something happen, we women that will be killed and they suffer the most. But as the slash man talk say, he says Sierra Leone, we don't well this country and politics. And even at NAPIA, for example, the Women's Forum. Because I know the Women's Forum gets over 300 registered women's groups all over this country. We're not just baby or grab yesterday. No. As you talk about, politics don't divide even women's group. You can work for start the country, but you get others there because of their selfish ends. The people of this country don't forget before. So I will talk again on behalf of the woman as H talk say how we want to follow we go. What do we go to for solve some of them problems that will happen on this show? We're not glad. We're not glad. Because if this kind of incident happened August 10, Women's Forum, we condemn it totally. And we, as women will talk say, Mr. President and the team, we are who will they pay? Because even that day, some of them are combined, we get well picking the whole number in this country. We not want to and copy them bad image in this country. When they talk say, the perpetrators they will do this act. For them to book. And the other hand of the is site. Social media. They go people that sit down. As a woman them. How they group them. You as a woman, you go to that kind of protest and they you not think about speaking way born like us. I could say if man come out, you go say, hey, no go do, don't think about speaking. But you get woman them way they get put all the support. And you know say somebody not because God do something if you're not gonna support her. We talk about dialogue again and say dialogue. How the dialogue? The dialogue first between yourself, friend and support him. Dialogue are two ways. Inside yourself, then you meet other person in dialogue. But how the dialogue? The one that will do the act. Who don't know them? You study them? I study them? You don't know them. And we number one as the women's group, number one, medical continue because we continue. We begin to suffer. Now we don't see how the country they go before. We don't want to go back again. So we all women. I talk before we last women in this country. I heard women's forum say when a civil society group. And they talk now say, Mr. President, enough is enough. It's time we shame the one them we want to push CBN. Because if they like today, we begin them. They go to school this summer, this time in the season, we begin them, but not go to school. But then they look what happen. They will go to school. They sit down. So they're going to exam classes then. We don't say the education they transform in this country. They will go to the classes then. So I don't say where I talk. They don't take me say because of even the tribal. Because the way Madam is talk about. Now every day, people that they can start, people that can talk about tribalism, hate speeches. How many women's groups can talk say this is not good for our country or this is not good? No, because someone feels no more. Someone for go before, and most of them are the so and for their selfish gains. And this country, if we want to say the truth, someone for go before. So, Mr. President, one of the recommendations then, if they go to Mr. Rado Swali, because the social media, we don't bad off. And then you see all kinds of incitements. Boss woman then, like by this person also. So I want to know how we therefore make sure that the social media the wrong things already happen. Like, for example, the one that they oversee. And the column, Adebayo waiting. How not them forget bit of Adebayo? Because Adebayo, I want to put away inside to put begin it. They're young. Some of the way begin it, and they're 2 boys. But begin it, you don't know where begin it. If not effort, first Adebayo, they kind and followers, they all when they start on social media, you go and then oversee they still on their idol. But for the inside mistake. So, Mr. Minister, please, when I therefore wake up for ensure say social media will continue small. Now election they cancel. I'm not going to talk much. Mr. President once more will say thank you, the Vice President and team. And we hope say all those people we all will work with each other instead of with the partial said, let's say, all of the ones are.
Mata, you are waiting, Salise?
I'm not surprised. They can only tell you. I'm not surprised. Somebody said the way they watch, where they leave me right now. Sally in page, Sally waiting Adams. If you go deep, you scroll right down. Pass and say who they watch, who they talk to now. It don't run go delete them or then go don't call them. But you go deep down, you know that it's not the SLPPCS to them. Or not the pauper to the specific, so the pauper says Sally.
Or you can send me the link. Just send me the link.
Sally Ndimawa Adams. Look no more than name what I send you. Ndimawa Adams. Look at that name there. You go deep, you go scroll through all in a page, you go see. Last week I been talking to one of my colleague that I say if you talk about money, I say we all not get money. I say me money you have guess all use up by election, give reporters all of that. Now I say somebody, oh, I mean don't collect the tell me the person, I civil society activists say don't collect the person, but the person tell and say let wait after election. They say it's the election, that's so that the money is so then sales so they have to can collect. And apparently now some of the one that we don't support the administration, we don't campaign for or the back up the administration. So, but I think we problem not limited to politicians and APC and SFPP. I think we wait for only accountable. We need for begin turn the spotlight to be set. Now the media and civil society, you know this now. I see maybe the Apc'S about the free media and slash position. I believe say once an attempt don't be made for intimidate, talk less for journalists or intimidate journalists, one safe, automatically the media not free. And in a case, you just like go and say, you get one pimple, automatically you know well. You know well. So if an attempt don't be made for intimidate any journalist, any attempt don't be made for intimidate any journalist, and they alone don't strive for say that one day na intimidation. The media not free. So what I try to say, we need for turn the lens back to we safe na public and left them politicians as well, because now we they create problem. We already know them say then get waiting and they do, they want to do waiting they do and all of that. But how much more we sincere and effective at every stage we go, we not compromise, we not lower the volume and increase some based on the in power. And one of the people in the say, hey, the media know they talk again better. Like Salty tell you, me, the first day where I take part now we had where I go out again, malice, people let me keep me malice. So that's okay. Well, I don't understand how say they keep me malice. So I just listen. So anytime I can no say some man they go see me, they talk to me again. So one thing they try for say is let we turn the spotlight so we say how much sincere we be. So because if you want to be politician, feel free, you're not citizen, go join the party. Go and join the party. Nothing wrong if you want to be politician, but you know they go hide under being a journalist or a CSO. They say you're not CSO, you're not journalist, then you are not. We know say now the crisis so we get a lot of people in they use the media as springboard. They want appointments as press attaché and all the rest. And they want to be someone they say in a CSO behind the scene, it promotes another agenda. You know, when the first two ECSL meeting that we attend, CSO and ECSL, you they see say really people they don't compromise. You know, I was in that meeting where before even Rashid they talk, now Edmond Abu say Mr. Commissioner, we very much pleased with the work they do. You're not a good commissioner. You know, go can look at the Southeast, you ban votes them or you cancel one of this like okay, Senator do. The Southeast this time around will be maintained. Now make a guy that post on Facebook. I just look me that shake and laugh. Talk. Praise corner as a friend and as a colleague. That they done. Charles Mambu get up and it was bitter because I remember there was one time there was an exchange in terms of tweeting between the commissioner and JFK. JFK made a tweet about something, the commissioner be respond. Charles Mambu said, no, the commissioner on no grounds, enough for response to JFK, let just do what's in it for do, he get it right, he get the power. I said, but come on, in other words, you see people that they even tweet or exchange ideas, not public. So if you don't get nothing for it, why you not go respond? When we go to the second meeting, Charles Mambu say, he say, then forgive people and the opportunity for the collect voter ID card for other people because you don't see them, it work, you don't test that, it work. Now, the way meeting, I say, now you baby go to pass and collect people and voter ID card for them. So we get all of these. We get the problem is not just about State Department banning politicians. Let them come beyond. May they look for CSO, public people in a public space where they hide behind certain profession with political agenda, the way they bring down democracy. You know, we believe that the State Department's action therefore reflects globally in Europe, you know, UK, because UK not now at the European Union, Europe, UK, and the rest. We know say get for reflect. They want the way they used to go vacation, we get them, it don't bad. And picking the way they don't used to give better life overseas, it don't bad because it get for affect them picking them. The medical load and don't used to go for, it get for affect them. We they sit down now, they make at this selection also any waiting set issue. But an issue we get for affect we as a nation and it get for affect them big time because the masses are used to the sufferness. They can cope, but a lot of people they're not used to when they're not used to the high life. And the other thing again about going to court when the opposition don't begin come out, a lot of me and a two-way thing. On your get right for go court if you choose so because you're a citizen, and you get right for decide not for go court now your rights. Absolutely waiting and whatever they decide, I think that they right and they can go ahead with them. But again, we go ask the question of where you same case na courts. Courts not looking to that. You go continue for the go court with similar cases, then like they want and they no way. Of course, the issue of the CJ in action is debatable for say the CJ na swearing the president. Constitutionally, na responsibility for say once they announce president, it was swear. But again, we will ask in a system like this, is possible? I go tell you say no, it's not possible. And if the opposition begin for which is self court, it they look like say they already and succumb to whatever then they advocate for, say yes, them defeat them. And now, where a lot of people they say the opposition for don't go courts and for don't do this, not so by force. Not so by force. And now we don't, this is not a big slap on the judiciary. I see yesterday they release one list where they say APC they may don't win case na court pass SLPP. APC they talk about the last cases that we get for doing the removal of them parliamentarian them. The process for the court been sit to remove them is very, very much faster. And after that, they don't appeal. It's more than the time, double the time where the judiciary spend for remove them parliamentarian in a court. So as of this time, they want for remove, they want for go, they ask say for go courts. Now they right for decide not for go courts. And then believe say then get other better option. And the thing is, where's and Saltimi, what I be they talk about say in and out, you know, they control people, you know, they control system. Let me tell you, because of which job, we don't see those politicians, we don't know people. Then can point one or two people into them say, appoint this. Past year, somebody tell you, say, no, appoint out, then they know they compromise. They know can't take control just now. Then so that means that then they appoint who that they know say they compromise. We don't do most inside people episode don't see those people the way you go talk about say them were appoint then they say no, they're not for appoint Danny because then they know they compromise. So that means say they get a bunch of jokers can pack them for one the states. And our jokers the way you able for control. And because and also you go compromise, you want all thing, and you want go one for take control. You go then go able to control you easily, then can influence you. Then also then give you money, then give you small space. You content with that. You don't care about professionalism. You know, remember say you don't swear before God and man and Bible and Quran. So now that make you see people in the bend. What's make na America and the president they appoint, but people in the stand up for waiting in America and value. Other countries they are swear now the president they appoint. People in the stand up because people in there, they were water and salt. Let me tell you, people in the talk say, Kone, they're under pressure, Kone, now because of that. No, me not believe in that. Kone was there because he was willing to do what he wanted to do. Let nobody not blame SLPP. Let nobody not blame the President Bio. Let nobody not blame nobody. Kone was there because he wanted to do what he wanted to do. Not for President Bio enforce this, not for SLPP enforce this. Say unions are all Kone responsible for being a cool rogue. Because Kone is a cool rogue. How can you be counting and then you say let them stop for counting, they can't announce results? You know, even doing the counting process. So let people are all Kone responsible. Now individual responsibility. Now, individual for take responsibility of the action. Let people left from the president not go appoint you, turn against her. What's let them not go appoint other people, then you don't go appoint. Now, because they're not saying that you're not satisfied. So now some of the issues then they were way for the look at. And let we turn the lens to we safe now in a public, where they work do public job, whether you're not CS or you're not journalist, you're not whatever. You know, let we turn the lens now to we say and forget about and shift the politician and small. No, we'll say we forget about them completely. Now we they make some of them things they happen because we they compromise everything we they do. Of course, me now they afraid for my life. Other people are equally afraid for their life. But when you know say compromise don't come in, just back out. Now somebody will tell anybody.
Okay, so let's just ask you this way will be the last question where I will basically ask you. We get to do with the issue of according to the paper they say alleged betrayals under the APC when they deny the victory of the APC, and the one that with the name now Sylvia Blyden with them put Sylvia Blyden honorable then put Peter Conte, then put honorable Colson Toure, and then put honorable Bundu. So what do you think? You think say the one they are playing well again for the APC lost election?
Well, I will say so. I will agree to that because these people they not ever throw support clearly. Like Peter Conte, in fact, going on Twitter, they congratulate. You see the way Sylvia Blyden they jubilate, say big sister to the first lady for the next 5 years. The boy Mundu, he was nowhere to be seen all through this campaign period. Even JFK, I think they for even had the name day, he was nowhere to be seen. Then now you can't force people in for go courts. Why you force people in for go courts? You know waiting at the situation at court, you don't ever show up. So these people are not ever show face by anything, but now then they push with one agenda. So I mean, all of these are the anti-party activities there. Now these are the anti-party activities they really waiting for the consider. They not ever say vote for my party or even through any form of support, but they are doing other things. So now what's in the up to? And why you still in at the party? Not so some of the spies there where they say the state they use or where they say the regime they use against the party. I believe so. Because if me I join them, where they say large events, I mean every year they go AGM, if they cannot go all the meeting. When you join them, you're not afraid for the way they should be. Saying each for election, every party member for come together and go campaign for your party. But if you decide not for campaign for your party, then you didn't defense, you do other thing. I mean, a betrayal.
Okay, so thank you very much, and Martha, for where you take it and join me inside the program today.
Thank you. I want for 10 subscribers then for go follow the page in our Facebook, Igbako EGBAKOH. For let them follow the page and then continue for see the issues them where we they post and also they contribute to we debate them.
All right, thank you very much, Martha. We appreciate you so much for joining me inside the program today. Follow we discuss issues then we get for do it the front page of the newspaper then. Thank you very much and get yourself a good day. Please stay safe, okay? I've been telling you this the other day. Martha, you don't go. You don't mute. I tell you this the other day. I say you really get for stay safe. I say certain things and they like waiting salary they say you get for a bit move away from but please stay safe and watch your back.
All right, thank you very much. Best.
All right, get yourself a good day. All right, the name is Mafakagbo, and in the Eduman for Ebako, where they do their own programs them on Facebook, and they as well they do some consultancy. So I want to tell you thank you for joining me inside the program today. You don't follow it today, we'll watch your program. Please will not forget for like 855 will watch on YouTube with 215 or 19 likes. Please not for like the program before we go. Thank you very much. And on YouTube, on Facebook we get 466, and then we get 61 likes. Please do not continue for like, you will not like it and share. You will not subscribe it, please consider for do so before ever you go. Okay, and I also would have left you inside the program this morning. Until we meet again, me Nasembepe, the freedom fighter. God bless we continue Sierra Leone where we call we are. See you again on net by God in Power inside the program where we call inside the program where we call we are. That's how we get other things then where we could come and discuss, yeah. So until then, we love you all so much.
Oh yo, Raga Spice. Oh yo, Mama Question and answer. See me through, yeah. They say them walk alright. They say them thief money.